So, my opponents brought up that an assailant in a school might be untrained. Similarly, we can sort of say that a teacher is not exactly the most equipped person to deal with such a scenario. Probably the first thing that would occur for the teacher is panic, in which the teacher would want to defend her students, but it's not quite that simple, because unlike, say, a police officer who receives extensive training to cope under stress, a teacher does not exactly receive such training. So they're not exactly fully capable of being able to cope with an armed assailant under stressful situations. So then, like Thomas brought up with the TSA losing the guns, they're trained professionals, obviously, and they still lost them. So if a teacher were to lose a gun somewhere on the campus, we could reasonably assume that something bad is going to happen, as I mentioned earlier with the study by Dr. Jackman and his colleagues. Then also a study by with Dr. Dahlberg, the CDC researcher. She found that regardless of storage practice, type of gun, or number of firearms in the home, having a gun was associated with a higher risk of injury or homicide. So even if the guns are stored securely, there's still a higher risk in the home, as Dahlberg researched. But again, we can treat the school like the home, since it's somewhat similar. So then my next point is, my opponents used the brought up better safe than sorry again. But the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends just generally keeping guns away from children, out of the home, and again, we could say out of the school in this case. Susan Perry wrote in the Minnesota Post, that notice that the American Academy of Pediatrics recommendation doesn't call for parents to simply lock up their guns. It stresses that weapons need to be taken out of the home, or again, in this case, the school. But furthermore, many parents, as Kathleen Glatt found, is that many parents think that, Kathleen Glatt found in the Journal of Pediatric Nursing, that many parents think that children know better than not to touch guns. But that's not necessarily the case, as we saw in the Jackman study. And if parents seem to think that children know better than not to touch guns, then we can say that teachers might have the same sort of idea that children know better not to touch guns if they were to find one. That might lead to lax storage practices by the teachers, as it often happens in parents, as Glatt found. Thank you.